So I saw something on YouTube here the other day that I thought was absolutely fantastic. UFC middleweight champion of the world, Sean Strickland, was doing a little bit of promotional work for the UFC, and they were crossing over a little bit with the PBR, with professional bull riders. I don't really have occasion to talk about it on this podcast very often, but I'm a huge fan of bull riding. That's like, I would say that if hockey was my number one favorite sport, then probably MMA would be number two. PBR might actually make that list above football. I can't say that for certain, but I think it might. But so one of the bull riders that was there found it in himself to sit there and say that he thought that the PBR riders are tougher than UFC fighters. And of course, Sean Strickland, being Sean Strickland, he's going to disagree with that. But I gotta be honest with you, I'm not sure that guy wasn't right. So they didn't identify who this rider was. And to be honest with you, especially on the American side of the circuit, I don't really know these guys well enough to recognize them. Maybe I should, but I don't. So I can't really tell you who this rider was. But I can't bring myself to say that I can't bring myself to say that he's definitely wrong. He might be right. I mean, there's absolutely no question that, yes, a UFC fighter does have to be tough. You know, a UFC fighter, they have to be very tough. They're going to go into a steel cage with the best fighters in the world and try to not get killed for 15 to 25 minutes. Yeah, you got to be really tough to be able to go through that. Hey, nobody's arguing that point. But with the rules that are in place, at the very least, a UFC fighter pretty much always has to pick on somebody their own size. Always, always, always. That's in the rules. It's in the contracts that they sign. You're going to sign a contract for this fight to fight this guy, and this particular guy, he's going to show up at a weight of this much, and you're going to show up at the same weight, or you're going to lose some money or see the fight called off. But in PBR, there is absolutely the mismatch is absolutely incredible. You're talking about a cowboy who might weigh 175 pounds jumping on the back of a 700-pound bull, and now that gigantic mass of muscle, and not just this gigantic mass of animal muscle, animal muscle that is specifically bred. They breed these bulls specifically, to be the toughest, meanest bucking bastards on the face of the planet. They actually treat the bulls like they're athletes in their own right. And actually, I very much do like that. It's something I would definitely like to see the PBR explore a little bit more in some of their marketing material is, trying to make people fans of the bulls as much as they are fans of the riders. Because otherwise, sometimes you go to a PBR event and it's a bad night for the Cowboys and you walk out feeling a little bit disappointed, but you know what? The Bulls are athletes too. So if the Bulls win, maybe that's not such a bad night, but you know what? I'm way off course here. These professional bull riders, they go out and sure, it's only for 8 seconds at a time, but they're going like head to head, with an athlete 4 times their size. 4 times their size and weight, at least, for 8 seconds at a time. And you see some of the spills that these guys take. I mean, here's the thing. If you don't watch the sport, you might not necessarily understand this, but you don't fall off of a bucking bull. You get thrown off. And sometimes these guys get thrown pretty bloody far, pretty bloody hard. And then, of course, sometimes, and this is where I have to admit, the sport does get a little bit scary. Sometimes you fall right in the feet of that animal that's doing absolutely everything in its power to just destroy you. Let's face it, you can't really jump on the back of a bull without pissing it off. So, hey, I'm sorry, Sean. But if you want to jump in a ring with Andrew Tate, I will put money on you absolutely any day of the week, all day long. But in terms of whether or not UFC fighters are as tough as PBR riders, I don't think I could agree with that. I think we got to tip our hats to the Cowboys on this one.